Greetings, everyone. Tommy Hawksblood here, calling from the big island of Hawaii. My co-host Tina Bird, I'll let her say hi in a second. We've got so much to talk about, so little time to stop all the things that are happening. But I'll let her introduce herself and say hello. Greetings, Tina.
Greetings, Tommy. Hello, everybody. I'm Tina Bird here from Southampton in the UK, and my co-host tonight is Tommy Hawksblood on a big island in Hawaii, and we have a great show for you tonight. Again, it will be about aliens, conspiracy theory, and anything else we can kind of chuck in there. So, hello from the UK, and I'll let Tommy dive straight into it. Tommy.
All right, people. I don't know if you're aware about the whole UFO scene, what's happening in it. We have a lot of speakers out there, a lot of big name people talking about what's happening. We have a lot of conferences almost every month now in the United States alone. But the problem is, it's a lot of false information or twisted programmed stories. Nobody's coming out with the real truth or the important truth, what I call it. All right, UFOs. They're still trying to say that there's UFOs and there could be aliens flying them. Most people are at that stage so far, including the speakers. Muelzando goes, well, maybe, what I think. It's time to go past the thinking point. I'm aware of it. I'm sure the people like Tina is, but there's so many people that listen to shows and go to conferences, go home. Oh, wow, cool. We heard a great story about, and they don't even believe it anyway. Well, we do this show to bring truth out, not everybody's stories and story tales and things like that. What Tina knows for a fact, what I know for a fact, what I experienced, what she experienced. I only talk about two of my really close friends, what they actually experienced. All right. And it's pretty important to know that because a good friend of mine, I'm going to say his name because I don't know how long he's going to live, but he's hanging in there. Sean David Morton. He was the biggest name in the UFO world many years ago. Then they arrested him with 150 false charges, and he was put in jail for 2 years, and they tried taking him out every which way. He got super cancer from his throat. They were pulling his teeth out. They tried blinding him, and now he's out dying of cancer. He's going for all kinds of treatments and everything else. He was in a coma. His wife almost shut him off, and then he started moving his fingers. But when he came on my show, it was an incredible show. But somebody was playing with the volume of my voice, cut me off, and it was people, big name people watch my show for reasons. I lectured from 1996 to 2002 with Sergeant 18. We were showing pictures of UFOs and creatures and entities for that whole time. And it wasn't a big thing. Nobody really cared. We had photographs of ships, not dots moving across the sky, not a ball of light, but actual ships. And nothing ever happened, except I think in 2020, he sold out about a year and a half ago. I'm sure he did because now he says he's an angel and he's blah, 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 all this other stuff, but he doesn't talk about UFOs at all. But he copyrighted all our pictures. We had thousands of pictures of ships, creatures, entities, phenomena, which I hate to use that word, but we had everything. And now he's in a totally different world against the UFO world. So I'm sure he sold out, and all my other friends in the UFO world have been taken out. But with that, I'll give it back to Tina. Greetings, Tina. Your turn.
Greetings, Tommy. Tommy's actually right. Things seem to have gone quiet on the UFO front, on the speakers front, and some of the old, good, better speakers that are well known seem to have been silenced for now. They're doing other things or getting new material. So now's the time really to be building up new speakers, which is something I'm going to hope to be doing. My event on the 25th of February this year is South Coast Encounters on Facebook. Please like, join, subscribe, and share. And so there are things that go on. People in the UK, again, as I'm going to reiterate again, don't have anywhere to report these things. The government obviously shut the UFO desk with Nick Pope earlier, many years ago now. So nobody can report it to anybody. So there are only UFO clubs, which are very few and thin on the ground here in the UK. And they all tend to be up north. There are one or two, but they're very few and far between. So there is no one to report them to. There is no one to investigate, which is why it's kind of quiet here in the UK, but not so much in America. Obviously, America's bigger population, wider area, more things going on, more things can be seen, more people looking out, more people have the time. And sometimes you have better weather. Here in the UK, it tends to be cloudy and rain a lot, will be very cold. So we don't get a chance to see the sky. But when we do see some absolutely, like Tommy said, phenomenal things. So that is one reason. Another reason is people don't want to come forward. I don't know why. There's such a stigma attached to it. But years ago, you were all idiots and in weirdos and kooks and what have you. But it's been released very quietly, drip drip, but it's been out there that UFOs are real. They've known that for a long time. All the militaries come out of it. Different countries have said it. They've admitted to shooting them down now. They've admitted to collecting bodies and discs or UFOs. So if they've collected UFOs, again, people believe in UFOs. Again, belief is a religious term. So as in faith, so they want to believe, but I won't go there for now. But so who would be building these? Do people think these come out of nowhere? They've got to be built by an intelligence somewhere. And if it's artificial intelligence, who built that artificial intelligence? So there are beings. People aren't getting that link. It's like mankind came from somewhere. Where did we come from? We didn't just appear here one day, build tanks the next day. So people aren't making that jump or don't want to make that jump. But if you want to believe, or I had a discussion once with Giorgio Tsoukalos from Ancient Aliens, and he was the same mind as me. And he asked me a question. He said, "Do you believe?" I said, "No." And he said, "No." And he laughed and said, "I don't believe. I know." And that is the difference. So when you know, it's not that you know more information than other people. You've experienced it and you know. But there are more and more people. I'm not the only one. I've seen hundreds of people. So, but here in the UK, I'm not sure if it's a lucky thing or not. Not far from where I actually live is all the crop circles. So within like half an hour, 45-minute drive, there are crop circles from 45 minutes to like 3 hours away and so forth up the country. But again, all this is played down in the news. We're on a bit of a news blackout here in the UK for some reason. It's a lot about the royal family, a lot of other things about different wars is being unheard of. It's just one kind of major thing at the moment and completely missing everything else around the world. But these things come into our world. So these things are choosing contact. They are coming into our atmosphere. That is huge. Mankind needs to wake up. That is a huge, that's a huge piece of information to digest. But they should be looking at things. If they don't know, right, they said last year or year before, it was origin intent. They want to know who they are and where they're from. Fair enough. But they should be having studies. Where are they appearing? Why are they appearing? Are they damaging our planet coming here? Are they damaging our atmosphere, stratosphere, oxygen, space, mass? Are they damaging that? Where is the scientific information on that? And what are they going to do with that information when it's produced? How are they going to store it? Who is going to review it? And who's going to implement any laws or changes? And what country is going to be in charge of that? Or what scientific institute? So just off the cuff there, and I'm just a normal, everyday running person, there's things that they should and could be doing. And that's just the scientific community. Then you have the military community. Well, they say they can't catch them. They're not of this world. If they're not of this world, make maneuvers. They can't identify them. They don't know how they're made and how they do these maneuvers, and they don't know how they travel or the speed. And we're outgunned, outmaneuvered. And again, these things not only travel from space into our planet in a blink of an eye, they travel beneath. So they are like a multi-medium traveling vehicle. Hence, I think the change to UAPs. So because they travel through different mediums, space, time, oxygen, air, underneath the water. So what's the damage? Again, the science thing. We'll look at the science first. They also look at the science. Is it irradiating our oceans? Is it causing global warming? Is it killing our fish? Is it poisoning our fish? Is it bleaching our oceans? You've got all these ships that crash or go into our seas at high speeds. Are the sound waves killing our fish and mammals? Are they hurting our whales and dolphins, causing them to beach? Are they killing our jellyfish? what effect on our bacteria is it having when these things go in and out of the oceans? Where's the scientific report on that? Where's the data on that? Again, who is implementing that? Who's following up? And who's qualified to do that? And again, who's going to be responsible for that? There are loads of things the UFO world are missing, or if they're not missing them, that it's been hushed up. If it's not being hushed up, then they're being very neglectful by not doing that. So there are loads of things going on that should be going on behind the scenes, and then of course the big word, accountability for this phenomenon, for the release, about victims, abductees, what's going to happen to them or for them. Now they'll be believed. Do they get an apology? Do they get compensation? Do they get free medical care? And what about the people they wrongfully locked up or wrongfully gave treatment to, that saw these things, that were abducted, that were taken, that have seen these things, had encounters, and been taken away from their families for it? Who is repatriating them? Who is helping them? Who is assisting them? Where are they getting their apologies from? They're never getting that time back with their families. They're never getting their lives back, and their families had to live their lives without them, or live with the stigma of it. Excuse me. So where's that? You've got just a military angle, the very small military angle you're looking at, or they want you to perceive, is this thin slice of, well, we don't know, we've not known, we just know from video footage that we're chasing these things. Well, if that's the case, look back at the United Nations policies. The United Nations policies are a fair few years old now, and you will see UFO all over their nuclear weapons program or for their nuclear weapons protocol. It will say what to do in the event of UFOs and UFOs and nuclear weapons. It does say that in the United Nations treaties. So, people need to look at that and think, well, what did they know? Well, if you don't know nothing about UFOs, why are they written into treaties? Why are they written into policies? And how do you treat them? How do they know how to treat them and put them in policies? Who told them that? Who gave them the authorization? And where did they get their data from for that? And who provided it? So if it's available to the United Nations to use it as data and scientific fact, where does that come from? Why is nobody asking these questions? These are everyday simple facts and questions that should be asked of people. So there are lots of things to be looked at, just simple little questions, and that's just a couple I can pick off the top of my head. What do other countries know? Have other people agreed to share information? It's not just about tactical ability. It's about damage. Being close to UFOs causes mankind. Being close to UFOs damages ground crew, damages human beings. It can irradiate you, kill you, abduct you. It's all these things just by being nearing one, let alone being inside one. And being inside one with different species, how does it affect you? How does it affect any bacteria that you've breathed in? How does that affect bacteria in your skin? Are you sanitized when they take you? Do they sanitize you before they put you back? What protocols are put in place? What is that not being looked at? If so, who is looking at it again? Who, how, why, where, when? Where is the data? Who are they sharing it with? What is their objectivity on this? Where is it going? Lots of questions and sadly, no answers. But I thought the scientific world would have been all over this. Where are you? All these Yale and MIT and all these famous universities around the world, all these famous PhDs and scientists. I thought, and academia, I thought you were there to ask these questions, to get answers for these questions. I've not got a doctorate. I've not got a PhD. I'm not a master at a university. I'm just an average, person. So why something's not working somewhere? Someone is not asking the questions that they should be. What is going on in the scientific world? That's what should be looked at. Are they being paid? Are they looked at? They're not just, again, are they not telling the public their results? Is someone paying them privately for these results? We should be asking those questions. So there's a lot surrounding what they call disclosure. Again, my opinion is disclosure has already happened many, many times over many, many years. And, The definition of disclosure is if you choose to move near or attempt to contact or within such a distance as to touch another human being or animal, that is perceived as contact or attempted contact. When you choose to abduct another species, perform tests on them, take them out of their environment, and mentally speak to them, that is contact. That is 100% contact. That's contact with a different species. Why isn't this not being logged? What is going on in the scientific world? So lots of other things, and there's lots of other fields that should be involved in that and around that, and don't seem to be happening. What are we paying universities for? What are we subsidising the government with all the taxes for? Apart from all, they're for research. What good is the research doing for public when the public don't get the benefit, protection, or feedback? What is going on? Nobody's letting us know. If you want our money, then why aren't you letting us know? Why aren't you protecting us? Who's being accountable at the end of the day when you go to the voting polls? It should not be like that. So I'm going to leave it back to Tommy before I start ranting about things I should not be ranting about. But they're just a few eye-opening, everyday questions that people should be asking.
Well, thank you, Tina. Let me start with a couple things. The United States has been blocking anything important for many years. They keep it secret, they don't tell people, and they won't. The whole idea of disclosure is a big lie. Stephen Greer, I don't know where he's coming from, what planet, but he's totally wrong. He's feeding the world false information, while the other UFO people are talking about things that aren't important. All right. I've been listening to shows. I just heard a show 2 days ago. I don't know if you know Mike Adams. He interviewed Timothy Alberta. Hold on, let me just say that name right. Can't read it. Alberto, Alberino.
Alberto.
Well, he went to Persia with two army people, and they did it. They were searching out the face peelers. All right. Basically, they interviewed hundreds of people, and they got a video of the being without a face as well. Basically, these people are seeing these giant, kind of human looking bodies in these metal suits. All right, and they're on a hoverboard with blue lights under them, and they float across the ground. But they take people and they take their faces from them. So now there's multiple witnesses. One girl was being abducted by them, and the whole she screamed. The whole town came out, shotgun shooting at these beings. Didn't do a thing. So this is in three different tribal places in Persia and two places near it. And there's multiple witnesses of these ships coming down and everything. You don't hear a thing about that anywhere. The things that are happening are escalating. The alien races are starting to get rowdy and doing different things. Over Hawaii, just about 4 or 5 days ago, a fleet of ships were over my house. Not me directly, but the whole area around my neighborhood. And there must have been about 5 or 6 of them pulsating in blue and red lights. And it wasn't a helicopter, it wasn't a plane. I mean, they all shot out into space when they were leaving. So, people, I just got my whole setup outside so I can film again. I stopped filming for 2 months. It was raining and cloudy every single night. It was a couple clear nights, but I was working on my platform and everything that I've been working on to take my cameras. I can film the sky from 35 feet in the air. So I got a lot of things I've been working on to get back into that. So, but if you talk to people here, 1 or 2 out of 10 people will say they saw a UFO. Never mind a person I know, his whole family saw a ship in aliens, and he was killed not too much later. All right. Now, disclosure is a make-believe word by Stephen Greer. I was in the whole UFO world in 1996. He wasn't even a big name then. I was lecturing around the United States with global sciences. His name wasn't big, but a friend of mine who was active with Almeen Barton, if you ever heard of her, and he was her bodyguard, but he was investigating Stephen Greer at the time. He went to all the hospitals Stephen Greer was supposed to work at, and all the things he said. None of it he could prove any of it. So whatever Stephen Greer says, where he got his money from and why he would give up the doctor business to be a UFO person, come out with disclosure and all that is another story. But we're left with this thing is these people coming out and talking, famous people, and they're talking about Putin, and everybody has the right to interview him. And I said he's a massive killer. We shouldn't be interviewing him. We shouldn't be feeding him what he thinks. He thinks he's a great person. He wants global warming. He wants to produce vegetables all year round and stuff. But he's a massive killer. All right. Plus, he told Trump about the aliens they're working with. Do you want that to come out? Nobody's going to believe it anyway. And if they do, they're going to realize how much trouble we are really in right now. People, are you ready for the facts of aliens? Why they are here? They're not here to play with us. They're not here to be our friends. They're not here to teach us anything important. Now, the only exception to that was Tesla. Einstein worked with an alien race. He was given false information, whether you want to know that or not. Tesla worked with an alien race physically. Einstein was in a dream state. But Tesla worked with an alien race physically, and he created or gave the United States government 50 deadly weapons, the most deadliest weapons on the planet, including time travel. All right, people? They don't talk about it. Nobody's talking about the important things that are happening, why things are going down. All right? When that happened, the Philadelphia experiment was the biggest experiment that ever went down, and it caused a rip in the vortex of the astral plane and the physical world. It created a number of what's happening to the planet. I was there. I did my UFO work with Sergeant 18, right where Tesla was working with DuPont. It's government property. And it has signs all around it. If you get caught on this property, you get shot. We went in there every other night, 4 hours a night, filming things. That's where we got pictures of UFOs, creatures, entities, you name it. Everything was coming out of there. So you don't hear much about that. Plus, at the same time, people, this really happened. Wanacue Reservoir was created. They flooded a city. All right? They flooded a whole city. During that time, UFOs were going in and out of that reservoir for 9 months. The Army was stationed around it. All right? They didn't do a thing about it. The lake was frozen. The ships went in and out just like it wasn't there. People, the government's not going to say, well, we got to investigate this. People are waiting for them. That's not happening, people. They know what's going down. They know what's happening. But here's the thing, people. Nobody knows who MJ-12 is. It's not even MJ-12 no more. It's MJ-32. The only person I knew in it is dead. So now it's increased numbers of the people that are in there. But they have higher clearance than the president does, people, and that is for real. Anything pertaining to UFOs has to go through them, whether they want to, what they want to do. Now, another big name speaker came out with an interview, and he goes, well, his last name's Lear. He's the son of Lear, the person that invented the Learjet. Now, he said he saw a giant UFO. It was too big to move it, so they shipped it to another country. Does that make any sense, people? On top of that, when he first started becoming active in the spiritual UFO world, he said everybody in the world is going to be abducted twice by aliens from the moon. But he also said we never went to the moon. This is Lear. All right. So people, just because they're famous doesn't mean they have the truth, or they're going to give us the truth or tell us the right things. Now, if you watch the news, which I watch all the time, I watch every UFO show special. I'm starting to hate it because it's just the same old garbage. We need new information, and Ancient Aliens has to upgrade their whole viewing schedule because they're tired of hearing about the pyramids and oh, this could be a ship and that could be a ship and this could be. They're starting to get into showing real videos of ships now. They have to, or they'll just be so boring after 15 years of just seeing nothing. So you're going to see a lot more stuff, but it's not their experiences. And I'm planning on doing a conference, but it's going to be people with actual experience like Tina. People that were next to a ship, next to an alien, that have deal with the truth, not, oh, I saw ships and blah, 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 and that's what we know. And
I've been in a ship. People may have looked at them, I've actually been in one, more than one.
So there's so many things happening, people, in this world, like this person exposing the face strippers, whatever they're called. The things that are happening are critical. But they're doing it in places where the government's not involved. People don't think they don't think people are involved. Like when we went to Persia, it was a small island and things like that. So aliens are doing what they want. In the United States, they're They're not releasing how many people are being abducted in the parks and all those kind of things. But it's happening. And if you want the truth, you can't stop looking for it, and you can't listen to all the people in the UFO world, because nobody in the UFO world can talk about truth in any great detail before they get taken out, and that's a fact. I was in it from '96. The top speakers in the UFO world are all gone, all of them. I'll say one person's name, Bob Dean, who was probably the most important person next to Sean David Morton. All right, but the biggest speakers out there, they exposed the things that he actually spoke about 27 alien races, Bob Dean. And what do you think Putin said to Trump? We're dealing with 27 alien races. 2 of them want to destroy the planet. Do you want that truth? Of course not. Nobody, I put it up everywhere. Nobody cares. Nobody's trying to find it. He said it on Russian TV 3 months before Trump was elected president, and then he said it to Trump's face. So do you hear anything about that? Oh, the Space Force. He created the Space Force. No, he didn't. It was already there. He just named it so people know that it's there. But he wasn't dealing with UFOs, and he doesn't believe in them. So we got contradictory every level. And we have a serious problem with global warming. It's affecting the planet greatly, and people aren't talking about the real problems. Oh, electric car and solar energy is going to solve all our problems. No, it's not. All cars run on batteries, people. And that's the most
I've got sorry to interrupt you. I shouldn't say it. I shouldn't laugh.
Say this, Tina. Tell me what.
No, about electric cars. Here in the UK, it was buy electric car, love the environment, and it's all this friendly, all this and that, and they use is it lithium batteries, which have to be replaced every 5 years and cost extortionate of money. You turn the air conditioning on and you lose 10 miles like that. They're few and far between. You have to pay for them to be charged here in the UK, which does cost a bit now. But more importantly, recently they said that they're going to get rid of all the petrol and diesel guzzling cars and have electric. They're now going to charge electric car people who own electric cars in the UK more money in taxing their car each year because their vehicles are heavier and do more damage to the road. So they're not environmentally friendly. You can't get rid of the batteries. And now, for the sake of you getting rid of your old car and buying a new one, it is actually going to cost you more. Tommy?
You hear that? Well, we've been fed lies for a long time. The Constitution was created by a bunch of people that really didn't care about people. Poor people, middle class people. They were all rich people. The New World Order, which is actually UN Agenda 21-30, is in full effect. You will notice a population depletion in the next 3 or 4 years. You will know that the controlling person won't be Trump. It won't be Putin. Nobody knows that name. Something I keep telling people, watch the alien interrogation. There's 4 parts of it. The alien says somebody's going to destroy the planet, and they've been trying to make them say who it was. It's real. People, you need to look at the real facts. These UFO people talk like there's no such thing as aliens here yet.
Wake up, people. Wake up and look up.
One person, Caroline Corey, did 3 movies and everything else, but she's making everything sound good. Like drones and cloning aliens and humans and all that's good. She claims she has psychic abilities and she claims all these things. Not one of it is beneficial to the human race. Now, Richard Dolan created a seminar last weekend with his wife, and it was about...
I've seen him talk about viewing. They did it here in the UK, Tracy Gubbin and Richard Dolan, about remote viewing.
Right. So this whole thing was about all kinds of spiritual things. But he talked about remote viewing, and I wrote him 10 letters already, and I said, you know what remote viewing is? It's called invasion of a person's space. It goes against the most spiritual law on this planet. But George Washington did it, people, and I know that for a fact, and I'm not going to go into the details. I know more about George Washington than 90% of the people that read books in every library, because I was in the house that George Washington owned, and he gave it to Madame Jumel, which was his illegal daughter. I can go into all the facts about that, but he was remote viewing the armies. He went out of his body, looked over where they were, and he knew how to take them out and everything. But it's evil, people, because when the United States started doing it, the people that were doing the remote viewing started remote viewing the people in the army and the
I think
government.
it's remote viewing and is like is a side effect sometimes. I believe of being abducted. They said is so is like foreseeing the future and dreams of seeing the future and psychic ability. I think that is a side effect of being abducted. But with that, I'm gonna say goodbye in about a minute because we're overdue now. We're only doing half-hour shows till I feel a bit better. I am getting there. First off, I'm not sure if you can see, I've got loads of birthday cards, and here's one there. There's another one there, beautiful one. It's not actually my birthday until tomorrow, but I'd like to thank everybody who sent me flowers, balloons, cards, well wishes. Um, it does mean a lot to me, and thank you very much. Not that I have a lot of fans or anything like that, but it means so much that I do feel appreciated, and I thank everybody from the bottom of the heart. But my birthday's tomorrow. I'm actually turning 53 tomorrow, so there you have it. But for now, so I'd like to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart. It's very kind. Thank you very much. And again, people on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and everyone else, and on my private Facebook as well, people that messaged me and thanked and wished me happy birthday. So thank you, everybody. And again, thank you very much for the cards. It's a nice touch. I'd just like to say you can buy my book, guys, on Amazon. It is £10 if you want the copy, and it just contains everything. It contains my statement from my investigator, everything else. It is being rewritten, a few mistakes, but it's £10, so less than the price of the cigarettes. If you have Amazon, you can buy it on there, £10. Kindle, you can get it on Kindle. If you have Kindle Unlimited, guys, you can get this for free. Yes, you can get this for free. You can read this online on Amazon. Amazon Unlimited, you can get it for free on there, and you can get it on Amazon Kindle. And again, just buy the book. If you see me out, I would gladly sign a copy for you. But with that, you can find me. I'm Tina Barrett here in Southampton in the UK. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, on a wiki site. But you can go to South Coast Encounters on the 25th of February this year in Southampton at Highlands Community Centre in Southampton and Basildon. Come in the morning for 11 o'clock, and we are having our first UFO meeting where we're going to try to encourage people to look at ghosts, UFOs, local phenomenon, and we want to build up speakers for the south coast of England. So please, guys, come along. It's £5 entry fee, and that just covers entrance and things like that. So, yeah, come in and join us, and we'll tell you everything, and we'll be listening to your feedback and welcome you. But until next week, keep looking up, keep listening to Tommy, and I'll see you next week, guys. Tommy.
Tina, happy birthday. I'm so sorry. I've been dealing with pain. I'm going to the hospital.
Oh, don't expect no, 53. No, I know you're dealing with a lot, but no, thank you very much. Just well wishes and birthday wishes has been great this year. Thank you very much, Tommy. I'll see you next week. Bye bye, everybody. Thank you.
Tina.
Bye.
All right, Tina Burr, great person. What's going on? She has a lot to deal with, as much as I do, with her body and what's the effects. She didn't get to pull out her radiation detector, Geiger counter, and what's going on with that. People don't understand what's really going down with her alone. She has all the symptoms of radiation poisoning, but she keeps going. And I tell her over and over, the only way she could be going on and on the way she is she's being protected with something. And I say the aliens are protecting her because they need her alive. She can communicate with her children that are on the ship, and that's why they don't understand how she can do that. So I think that's part of the main reason. I don't know if you read her book. When you do read it, you'll get to see parts of that. But it's credible. I mean, she's the most credible person in the UFO world about abductees. More proof than anybody else out there, including Travis Walton. Basically, even her boyfriend cut implants out of her. They were both abducted together. I mean, her stories are incredible, and they're credible as well. So people get a book. It's I got it over there, but it's a great book to read to understand what's going on in the abduction world, which in the UFO world, they don't want to admit much to that. They don't talk about it much, and they come out with experiences, which we hate. Tina and I hate the word. Basically, it means people that think they had a great experience with aliens on their ship. Doesn't happen, people. Never did. Never through history did it happen in a great way. Now, I was friends with Fred Bell, All right, he was friends with Billy Myers. Billy Myers was working not with aliens, people. I call them people of the future. They were human in a lot of ways. I mean, they look human, and they drove around in a regular ship and all that. They changed the ships. The ones Billy released in the 1950s were just circular ships. Now they don't even use those kind of ships anymore. Realize we develop and change our reality in 25 years. Realize races have been here for thousands and thousands of years, 100,000 years and stuff. What they change every 50, 25 years. All right, technology that they have is way beyond our understanding. Now, abilities. Aliens have two abilities. We had 32 when way back during Atlantis time frame, but we don't have the abilities anymore. Most people say they have this ability and that ability. 1% of 100% of the ability is all anybody has right now, if that. Meaning, if you had an ability, you could say, I'm going to make it rain, and it rains. I'm going to levitate that car, and it levitates. Not, well, I'm going to say it's going to happen, and maybe in 10 years it happens, or 5 years it happens. Even being able to tell the future for 1 minute in the future, you can change the reality completely. Well, aliens have one gift that's pretty known, and that's called the ability to be a psychic reader of who we are, what we think. And they could read our minds from a ship. And I proved it to myself many times. And if you really want to learn that, I could teach you, tell you how, and prove it to yourself. But they're aware when you focus on them, they're aware of it, and they know it. You ever drive in a car, and there's a car next to you, and you turn around and stare at them, and they turn around and stare at you? You ever wonder why? How do they feel you looking at them? That's the ability washed down to just about nothing. All right. We used to be able to have incredible gifts, 32 of them to be exact. But Jesus had 32 psychic abilities. He's one of the only souls that I know all through history, except Mary Magdalene, that had those abilities for real. Bringing back the dead. All those kind of things. Oh, well, this happened or that happened. Yeah, well, how many people saw it? How many people witnesses, and where was the proof and all that? But I can talk about things because I'm aware of all my lifetimes. The time I came down here, I was in Atlantis. All right, before that, I was in an alien race. I'm not going to go into that, but it's, I'll just say the color, they were a blue race. But when I came here, it was Atlantis. And basically, we did have 32 psychic abilities. It was the only time planet Earth was at peace, and it was really the Garden of Eden. And then, after a long period of time, two alien races decided they couldn't deal with us, and they destroyed Atlantis. All right, psychic abilities are only good if you use them in a good way, and people today have no clue what's a good way. If you don't believe in God, I'm talking about a real God, or know a real God, how are you going to do what you're supposed to do with something? You're given a gun. What are you supposed to do with it? Nobody told you. What would you do with a gun? Shoot at somebody and see what happens? Of course. So psychic abilities are the most dangerous thing to this planet if they were real. But I'm not saying they're not real, but nobody has them. Oh, a psychic can talk to people. I could read this and prophecies and stuff. It doesn't help mankind. Not one thing in history was completely changed to a good thing, except the story of Adam and Eve, which is a fake story. All right, that changed reality because men believed men were better. But when you hear the story of Noah's Ark, which was a real story, all right, it changed reality because he did save lots of people and animals and all that kind of stuff. So outside of that, even the other stories in the Bible, and when he was told his wife, don't look back, when they left the city, she turned around and then she turned to stone. They actually proved that whole city was bombarded with meteorites. So she probably was burnt up. So the stories get twisted by men telling them. Men have a pathetic way of thinking about life, the way they abuse women, the way they think about women, and have always. Realize Hinduism is the oldest religion on the planet. They started working with deities. All right, I know you know the names of some of them: Shiva, Durga, Kali, Green Tara, most popular names in all of Hinduism. But after that, aliens came down and started playing with the human race, started reprogramming us and things like that, which was incredibly dangerous for us, but not for them. All right, we're massive killers today. We like abuse, we like war, we like fighting, we like to see it constantly. Go on X now, and every other video, somebody's beating somebody up, and a girl saying that she gets beat up. It's all violent. It's programming the subconscious mind to get ready for what's going to be happening. I don't know if you watch the older movies when the destruction to the planet's happening and the old road warriors and stuff like that. Uh, we're getting close to being there. Once the food shortage starts, once they forbid people to leave the country, once they start doing all the things that are going to be happening soon, people are not going to be ready or even able to deal with it. But then you get the people that are people of Earth will go out of their way to do anything they can to do whatever they want to live. Now, living isn't as important as you think it is. You have been programmed to think how important you are, which you're not. Nobody is important in this reality. This is the lowest reality there is. And if people think God would come down here, why? I mean, did you ever watch the movie Lucifer? It's a great movie. It's twisted here and there, but it's an idea. God wouldn't come into this reality. Well, that's where the story, the son was sent down and all that. No, Jesus was not the Son of God in per se the way man perceives it. We all are. All right? Never mind, we are not God. None of us. And he never said he was God. And now I've been trying to find out what alien races understand about Jesus or God. They don't understand God at all. No race does. All right? The Mayans, the Egyptians, the Aztecs were all programmed by alien races. And their ideas of reincarnation were so screwed up, people. It's all lies. The hieroglyphics proved that they didn't know what they were talking about. The bodies, the skeletons they found proved they didn't have a clue what they were doing. They knew nothing about reincarnation, and they still don't. Most people have no idea what it really is. It's not a game. You can't oh, I'm going to come back and become Superman, or I'm going to come back and be my mother's son, and blah, blah, blah. No, it's not like that. It's not just a simple game. This is hell. You're serving time, working out your karma to get into a better state, become more aware of soul, what you really are. What happens when you leave planet Earth permanently and don't have to reincarnate? I'll tell you this, it only gets better. Even the Esther plane, which all souls go to when they die, unless they stay here. Spirits that stay here are ghosts, spirits, whatever. They don't even get to go to the Esther plane because their awareness is so limited, they don't have the ability to even follow the light, follow an angel, follow anything. So they are stuck here. But if they get to the Esther plane, they don't get to stay there. I spent time there is so different than here. You can spend a lot of time there, and it doesn't affect time here. And I did. I watched souls coming and going, and it's amazing. When you get there, just so you know, people, it gets better. You can pick what age you want to be. Seriously. And you can stay that age. You don't have to eat. You don't have to do a lot of things. You're not going to the store to buy shoes and stuff, though, either. People, are you ready for more truth? Or you like dealing with the garbage that you deal with now? This is bliss. This is heaven. What? Everything's dying. People eat everything on this planet. People are killing each other, beating each other up. Everybody's lying to each other. Relationships can't even stay together. And the abuse on children is 10 times worse than it was on women all through history. Because they didn't sell body parts and all that stuff as what they're doing the way they are doing it today. And all that kind of stuff. It's sickening, people. And if you think you're in heaven, so you're on earth, heaven here is so above, so below. No, it's not even close. And the 10 Commandments don't mean anything to anybody. Not that they were wrong. I mean, the 10 Commandments never hurt anybody. For the one thing, it says, thou shalt not kill. That's not a bad thing, people. If everybody adapted to that, the world would be incredible. But nobody has. Nobody accepts it. That was for people at that time frame. No, it's for people forever. It's for people to learn, which they don't. I mean, all the games, the gladiator games and stuff like that existed forever. I mean, we got wrestling, boxing, and all the things. Other countries have kickboxing, Thai boxing. Do you know they fight until they die or unconscious? People, we're not better. We aren't moving forward, and you hear all these spiritual people, which I'd love to be in a room full of all of them on TV live and let them try to prove that they know anything spiritual, know anything about what happens after they die, anything that happens when they come back, any of that, or what God really is. And most of them can't even talk about a God because they don't believe in a God. And that idea of oneness with what? A universal oneness of sick, perverted, twisted energy? I'd rather have be completely annihilated, taken out of existence eternally, than become part of that. Massive killers, rapists, and you name it? Is that what you want to spend eternity with? You spent all the hard time here, lifetime after lifetime, to learn what? You should have learned something, and hopefully you're learning you're not in heaven. And you're not going to go to heaven by dealing with what you think you're learning here. Nothing you're learning here is going to help you in the plane or the worlds beyond that, because you don't have the body that you have in this physical reality. Like I said, you don't have to eat. I mean, it's not like you have to smoke and drink and all those other kind of things. You don't. All right? You pick an age. It's because this astral body is just that. The mental body is even finer. And then you go to the third, fourth, and fifth planes, it becomes incredibly called the light body. People, you get parts of truth. People that have the real truth very seldom come out and tell anybody it, because they know people won't believe it. And sadly, most people don't and won't. I don't have a lot of followings, because once they hear something about, oh God, Jesus, or aliens and anything, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to know why aliens are really here. Should have shut this light off. I don't know why I didn't. It's in my eyeball. Sorry. People, I go on a little bit longer because I know Tina's in a separate place as far as religion, spiritualism. You heard her. Not that she has a reason to respect religion or government or anything, because nobody helps her. All the things she's going through, even being radioactive, they're not admitting that. They're not admitting what they cut out of her stomach. They said it's too controversial. In England, they film every operation. And usually people get to watch their operation. But in her case, oh, it's too controversial. We can't release it. They cut something out of her stomach. She went to court, and they said, oh no, we can't release it. Fought with Congress for a year or two. She gets a letter, and you should read it. But she gets a letter, and it says, oh, we cut some, listen to this, and this is what they tell her, all right? A birth control device taken out of her stomach that was a big black mass. Wow, that's an awful big controlling device to be such a little artifact that they need. But it's all lies, people. And thinking that they don't know that aliens are driving ships is ridiculous. I knew it when I was 6 years old, people. I knew it when I was 12 years old. And it never changed. It only got more intense and seeing more ships and everything else along the way. I was dealing with ghosts and spirits and entities. I did exorcisms. I was working with ghost busting. I started in New York City, where George Washington had his headquarters, Jumo Mansion, the oldest house in New York City, the first castle mansion built. But so many people died there because George Washington had his cannons lined up there, and they shot at people coming in from through the East and West River. People, the truth's out there. And if you think the Constitution is what we need, it's a bunch of lies twisted for rich people. How does anybody not understand that? I think you need to read it over and over until you get that in your head. Who was outlawed to vote, and when women were allowed to vote, and men always kept women down. Always, all through history. Jesus was the only one that proved that a woman was a gift, and nobody wants to accept that. And in religion, they don't even accept it mostly. They won't even release the fact that he had a daughter. And it was Mary Magdalene that was the only one, and her and Thomas were the only people that actually left the country alive. Thomas went to India and was teaching Jesus' teachings to the Hindu people. They took parts of his truth because it was the truth. But it was twisted by mankind's thinking because they didn't understand the truth. If I took you into showed you a spaceship and told you how it was working, would you understand it? Or use it bionic energy and weird words and stuff? You would have no clue what I'm talking about. Even the word God didn't ring true to those people. And most people have no concept of a real God other than a man sitting there, all right, looking like a man, saving us. Really? Who's he save? If it's a man who cares about us, supposedly loves us, could sit there and watch children being cut apart, beat up, taken, women being attacked, all those things, you call that a man? It would be the pathetic, sick person if that was really what people assume is God. God doesn't protect people. Oh, I pray and I'm protected. From what? Your son gets hit by a car and died. Oh, well, he's not protected. We're not protected in this physical reality, people. You need to understand that. Aliens don't understand it even. Well, they don't have feelings and emotions either. But when we die, when we let go of this body, you'll see a greater world. But you're not aware how to use that body, so you have to reincarnate and still come back until you learn how to understand that. And the most important thing you can learn, which is not taught in 99.9% of every school on this planet, is how to leave the body. Not remote viewing. Leave your body. When you have a near-death experience, it's called leaving your body. But then again, if you're not an aware being when that happens, the mind is full control of what you think you experience. The same as when a person gets abducted by an alien and they reprogram them. You're not aware of what's going down. And you get fed false information. And you believe it. Corey Goode, basically his story was lies. He saw the past, present, and future. He said the world was going to be destroyed. And he's still out there. These people are still out there promoting lies. Aliens aren't here to help us. Or they would. Plain and simple. The technology Mr. Tesla was given is the most dangerous things anybody could have ever been given. And the first word is called time travel. All right. Now, we screwed that up. We did. The United States did. Not only that, they opened up a vortex, which is the most dangerous thing that actually happened from that. And now we're dealing with entities, creatures, and all the other things that are coming into this reality. Watch these ghost shows and all these things on, we can talk to them now and we can see them. And tell me whether it's anything beneficial. Like a spirit comes out. I'm going to save you. There's going to be a bomb hit this house tomorrow. Let's not stay here. I mean, you don't hear anything positive, really. Why are you here? Why aren't you leaving? We'll help you. I mean, when that show came out, when she was crossing the people over, it was a good idea because I did it. Not that I'm not bragging about it. I did it. I didn't even know what I was doing when I did it. Souls need to cross over. First thing. Second off, they have to be aware. Because you die, number one, you don't become an angel. You don't become a super being. And you don't become more aware. It's like saying, I was in 8th grade, I got shot, now I'm dead, now I know what people in college know. I mean, just for a relationship to it. But basically, no, that doesn't happen because you die. You die what you are, and you usually come back because of that's what you are, unaware. unaware what soul is, unaware what happens when you do leave your body. There's a bliss state. Buddha talked about it. You can go into a bliss state. It's like being one with nothingness in nothing. And why would I want to go through all these lifetimes suffering and dealing with horrible things and then slowly getting great experiences to go back to being nothing? You can become something. You can become a working soul for God. Not many souls ever attain that. Not in 20 or 100 lifetimes. And we do reincarnate many times, not twice or 3 times. No. And you have to base it on the beginning of time. I mean, there's a few more souls coming every so often now. But the number that was here originally is still basically a number very similar to what's here today, except more. What I'm saying is, all these reincarnations they have, you have to multiply that by the average lifetime from then to now, all right, to get to the year that we're in now. And you'll see how many lifetimes you could have had or did have. And very few people remember much more than 2 lifetimes. Considering you had 200-300. Just figure it out. Multiply 100 times whatever number you're going to base it on. Well, you live 60, 80 one lifetime, 40 one lifetime, 100 another lifetime. Add those years together and multiply it by the beginning of time and see how many time frames that fits into it. You'll realize you had multiple lifetimes and you still didn't learn anything. Well, I could have a child, I could build a house, I can make a toy. Man's attention is only focused on creating toys. Their toys are getting better and better. Doesn't mean they're spiritual. Science isn't getting no closer to being better. Everything you eat, everything you breathe, everything you swallow is toxic. Is that better? When we were little, dirt was you could put it on any cut and it would heal it. Dirt. Now the bacteria that lived in dirt is dead. The vegetables, fruits, and plants that you used to eat have less than, 25% of what it had 50 years ago. People, science is not beneficial. Science is technology from aliens. In Atlantis, we didn't eat animals, didn't kill, didn't do any of those things. We weren't worried about going buying a new pair of shoes, things like that either. People, we follow aliens. Why? Because they sound good to what? Ignorant people. The Egyptians weren't smart, and they had help. Always had help, being what the aliens wanted them to be. Atlantis was the highest highest civilization that existed in this realm. All of it. The billions and hundreds of races that are everywhere close to us even. They have very, very few ideas or understanding of God, but we would be working with them already. All right. Now, I'm going to give you a simple scenario. You're a super spiritual person. All right. You think you are. And you have maybe 100 different gifts. All right. And you're walking down the street with your 2 children. And you're coming up to a light. And the light's turning red. All right. So, okay, I'm going to go across the street. But it's still green. You say, well, I'm going to time it. I'm going to wait. Okay, that's a good idea. But I'm going to run across the street real fast. And you get hit by a car. And now you're the parent watching that. Do you think you should have been a little more aware? Obviously, yes. Soul knows everything before and after a split second. All right? And if you learn to listen to it, you can save yourself multiple ways, save a lot of different things from happening. No, you can't protect yourself from everything, because if a bomb drops on planet in the United States and blows the United States up, you're going to be there. You can't do no matter what you think or do. But there's simple things you can. Being aware. And aliens are not aware of what's happening. They gave the United States technology to kill them. Tell me that's not a dumb thing to do. But when you don't have God and you're not aware of truth, and you're not aware of beneficial right and wrong, which people don't even believe in, You can't move forward. As you notice, planet Earth is not moving forward in any way. Oh, our cars are faster. We can run on batteries. Well, one of the first cars was running on a battery. All right? People were being programmed over and over. And don't worry, it's not going to be long. A few more years before a lot of people are leaving, not because they want to, because they have to. I had 5 death experiences, people, and each one was better than the one before it. And I mean better. I learned and experienced more stuff. Now, and I've been in this realm since 1958. And then when I was born, I mean, I wasn't totally aware. I mean, I was aware of certain things, but not everything. But by the time I was 6, I worked with a deity, and I saw my first alien ship, and I was right next to it and stopped it from attacking and abducting my brother. All right. So yeah, my life changed rapidly. By the time I was 12, an alien was in my house. My friend and me chased it with a baseball bat. So fear of truth. I think is the most scariest thing because most people are afraid of the truth, rather than being afraid of not knowing the truth. It's like saying the only thing that I'd be afraid of is not knowing God. Anything else? Nothing could hurt you spiritually, soul, your soul itself. That's where you're eternal. That's where you're protected. Not this body. No religion, no path can stand there and have the head chopped off and walk away and say, I'm okay. All right. So, people, if you want the truth, this is the show to listen to. It's open to questions anytime, people. Now, send this link to everybody you know if you can. All right. I will debate any and all the people in the UFO world and all the so-called spiritual people on this planet on their perception and ideas of God and death. This is the most important thing in your life. Even Buddha said you got to think about it every minute. All right? If you think about it, you're getting closer to where you really need to be, not on planet Earth called hell. It's the first stopping point. It's like, well, let's stay here and not move forward. Why? Your soul body is the purest you'll become. I'm not saying you can go past. I'm not going to go into that. But when you come into your soul body, you're pure light. Oh, I can't have sex and I can't. Well, that's what limits you from moving forward. Men are going to have a hard time moving forward spiritually, and that's why they keep women in control and kept them down. Women are a lot more open to that, to give up sex, to give up male and female. Now it's just the opposite. On this planet, we are not male or female. So whatever you do to this body is just a game you're playing with your ego. Soul doesn't change sex. Soul takes on a body. I mean, it takes multiple bodies, male and female, over lifetime after lifetime. And that's why so many souls are so mixed up what they are. Because they weren't aware in each lifetime. So I was aware of 2 definite lifetimes that I had as a woman. But one of them is the most important lifetime I ever had. Out of all my lifetimes, only 2 of them were important. And that should be bringing up things in your mind like, well, I could reincarnate another 100 times. You know how pathetic it is? I told my cousin about reincarnation. He's no longer here. I said, just think, you could come back over and over. He goes, you mean I could go out and do something bad to a girl and come back and do it over 1,000 times more? Yes, you can. So the idea of being able to do things, people that do drugs, people that hurt people, knowing that it's okay. When the Pope came out and said there's no hell, what's it do to the evil people that believe that there was a hell? Oh, there's no hell after all this? What do I got to watch what anybody says? I can do whatever I want and get away with it, which is what hell is all about. Satan will give you anything you want, people. Seriously, he keeps you here. Well, it's not like you're selling your soul out. No, you're giving into to the pleasures of life in planet Earth. Money. Everybody's running on money, and it's not really important in any way. In this reality, it is. But if you die tomorrow, money couldn't help you in any which way. People, I don't want to go into it anymore. I hope you got something out of today. Tommy Hawksblood here, calling from the big island of Hawaii. Want the truth? I don't know too many people that could debate me and stand up and walk out of there with his head held high. I mean, I faced a couple people. I'm not going to say all their names, but they ran off stage. Even Bud Hopkins. I mean, I faced a bunch of them. What's the guy that channels the alien? I can never remember his name. But he ran off stage as well. People that I come and face with. I was a high priest when I was young. I was doing exorcisms when I was 25. So, people are afraid of the truth. And a soul that becomes aware radiates the light. And people, if you open your eyes and learn a simple technique, you can see everybody's aura. Nobody can lie about it. Somebody can dream and do drugs and everything else, and you just see how bad they really are by seeing their aura. I don't look at it. I'm not going to go into the story. Maybe next time. But please, people, the truth's out there, and it's important right now because the world's changing, and it's getting worse. But you still have the ability to become more aware of who and what you are. Before it all goes down, before you leave this planet, you need to become aware of who and what you are, where you're going, what you're doing, and how you're going to get there. All right, people. Till next time, have a good night, good day, wherever you are. Peace, love, and passion, whatever you need in your life. Don't stop until you get it. Don't be satisfied with nothing.